The International Monetary Fund is raising concerns over several key budget measures in Ukraine as the country negotiates a new $8 billion loan package. While the government seeks to ease the impact of the ongoing war on citizens, the IMF is warning that some policies may worsen Ukraine's already fragile fiscal situation. The IMF is pushing back against a series of Ukrainian budget measures which are aimed at alleviating the economic strain of the ongoing war with Russia. Among the concerns is the country's decision to extend tax exemptions to industries such as processing and to self-employed entrepreneurs. The IMF argues that these tax breaks would worsen Ukraine's fiscal deficit, which is already under immense pressure as the war enters its fourth year. In a more unusual move, the IMF is also questioning a proposal to provide free train travel to Ukrainians for trips up to 3,000 kilometers, a measure that's introduced to ease the hardship amid rolling blackouts and air raids. While such initiatives are aimed at easing the burden on civilians, the IMF is concerned about their impact on Ukraine's long-term financial stability. At the heart of the negotiations is a critical loan package which is expected to total $8 billion over 4 years. The IMF has been urging Ukraine to focus on stabilizing its economy and ensuring that its debt remains sustainable. The lender's updated projections show that Ukraine will need about $65 billion in funding through 2029, with most of it required in the next 2 years. Now, Ukraine's fiscal challenges have been worsened by intensified Russian attacks, which have devastated nearly 60% of Ukraine's domestic gas production. The government is now seeking an additional $2 billion to cover energy imports as the harsh winter approaches. Among other IMF demands is the need for Ukraine to abandon preferential price reductions on gas and liberalize its gas market, a move that the IMF says will reduce the fiscal strain. They also want Ukraine to tackle its shadow economy, which is estimated to account for over 30% of the country's economic output. The IMF is also pressuring Ukraine's national bank to allow the currency to depreciate faster. But the government is wary, fearing the impact on public sentiment. As negotiations continue, the stakes are high. Ukraine depends on international donors for funding, including for critical sectors like healthcare and pensions. As Ukraine's economic situation becomes ever more precarious, the pressure is mounting for the government to balance fiscal responsibility with the urgent needs of the people. Talks with the IMF are expected to continue into January, but Ukraine's access to critical funding may hinge on the European Union's ability to unlock frozen Russian assets in the coming months.